We are live with the brand new Bridgeside Sports. This is an impromptu thing we're doing. We were planning on doing a sports show for a while. We had some of the guys here that are going to be producing the show and hosting the show. We were here having a meeting, and we decided, let's just go for it. Let's just go live. And that's exactly what we're doing. We have Philip Cagliostro will be your host and moderator, joined by Chris Ventura, the analyst, and Alan Colombano. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do this every Monday live at 9 p.m. So stay tuned for a lot more. We got the snow coming very soon, and we actually had to cancel our show tomorrow, Bridgeside Live Music Show with Avid Gamblers. They're coming back the next week on the 21st, so Avid Gamblers on the 21st, Bridgeside Live. Stay tuned for that. But right now, let me hand it over to the very first impromptu Bridgeside Sports pilot. Let's go, guys.
You shut your phone off.
Brandon Marshall is an unbelievable signing.
Why do you think he's going to be better than
But he's better.
Forget about it.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bridgeside Sports. We're live from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. My name is Philip Cagliostro. As always, I'm accompanied by Alan Colombano and Chris, the analyst, Ventura. This is our weekly platform to talk about sports and what's going on in the world of sports in New York, as well as the entire country. Kicking it off today, what we're going to do is that we're going to speak about the Yankees and the Mets. And as always, we got to start with the New York Yankees. So when you look at their over-under this year, they're in a very different year than they're usually expected to be. They're kind of rebuilding a little bit, but they're also contending. So their over-under right now is 83.5 wins. I'm going to kick it to my man on the left here, Win, first, to see what he wants to say about what he thinks about their season coming up.
I'll tell you what, 83.5. I mean, last year they had what? 81?
84.
84 and 78.
84 wins. How are they not going to do better than last year? You'll have Chapman for a full year, right?
Yeah, you didn't have him last
You
year.
didn't have Sanchez.
Gun shooting.
Sanchez should outperform McCann, right? I think we can all agree on that.
I'd agree with that.
Granted, he hit like Babe Ruth last year. I don't think it's going to happen again. But
If he hits, what he hit, 20 home runs last year? If he hits 25, 30...
25.
It's a very great year. It's a really good year. What could you ask for?
if you're happy with 25? If he hits 25 homers, you're happy with it?
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess you should be able to catch him as a catcher.
That's what I mean,
But
yeah.
he hit 20 last year. I know he made it.
He did it in a record time.
I hear you. And it's a very, very
Look,
hard
remember
pace to
Shane
stand.
Spencer 15 years
90
ago,
Yankees.
20 years ago. He came up, he had 11 home runs and 60 at-bats. And then what happened to him?
Right.
But-
Small sample sizes.
But anyway, let's
All
keep
right.
it going. With Gary Sanchez, obviously
With
looking forward to a
Sanchez should
full year with him.
outperform McCann. You got Bird back, right? You have
Upgrade to the share.
Castro. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Gregorius.
Great year last
Headley
year.
is,
yeah.
Not as bad as everyone says, but okay.
Whatever. Ellsbury, the worst signing in history.
The worst.
And
You guys hate that one, huh?
Terrible.
So you think it's not that bad? Is that true? I thought you were...
Well, no. I think the signing is bad in retrospect because he ended up getting hurt a lot, and he also ended up not playing nearly to his
Okay,
potential.
okay. Can I ask you why he doesn't steal bases anymore? Did he
Because he's
lose
dumb.
his speed?
He's
Okay,
dumb.
He's dumb. He's
He
just
is
dumb.
older.
Ellsbury,
He's
God,
older.
the fastest man on the planet, and nobody steals. Girardi, nobody steals. Why?
Oh, I don't think Girardi's that good of a manager.
But whatever.
So
I
that's another
digress.
thing.
It comes down to this very simply. Their lineup should be pretty good, right?
I
Should be
agree.
decent,
I agree.
all right? It's going to be their pitching. Their bullpen should be good.
Right. It's
Betances,
about their
Chapman,
pitching.
and I think Severino should
gonna
go on the
work
pen
back.
also because he was unhittable last year. He was right?
Coming out of the pen.
Coming out of the pen.
All right.
Starting, you don't want another Chamberlain. So with that being said, I think if you win, you get 18 from Tanaka, you get 12, 13 from Sabathia, 12, 13 from Pineda. Your last two rotation spots are up in the air. They should
So you're over.
over.
So, Chris, what are you
Put it in
looking
the
at? What do you think about
Over.
their starting rotation? You got Tanaka at the top.
I mean, this is what I think. I like I said, we've talked about this before, obviously, and I'm on the fence about it. 83.5 is a nice number. They did a good job with that, but I think it's going to be under. I think they're not going to have as good of a year as last year. A lot of that being, I know last year they look more improved this year than they do last year, but
But you got them under.
But in my opinion, it's all coming down to the rotation.
Exactly.
The lineup could be good, and even if certain guys in the lineup like Headley, who I don't like at all,
I mean, he's serviceable. He's
serviceable.
Not stiff.
He's a fill-in guy. He's a role player.
He's not a role player. He's not a fill-in. He's a starter.
I think
I mean,
He's
you know,
everyday
what I
third
mean is
baseman.
a role player. He's not a star, is what I mean.
Right.
He's a role player in a lineup.
But-
But what I'm saying, or on a field. But what I'm saying is, he could start every game for all I care. But he's just not an impactful player. What I'm saying is, even if guys really falter and hit 220, let's say certain guys, they're really cold. You got young guys like Gleyber Torres, Clint Frazier. You know, hopefully Aaron Judge can play
Judge is
up to
another
his
guy.
power. But he's also
He
very
struck
risky.
like-
He's 48% of the time or something like that. It was something
think-
ridiculous.
I think he had like
Shattered
82
records.
at-bats last year, and he struck like...
He's gonna
he
do that.
swings and mitch.
He's gonna do
He
that.
That's
swings
what it
and
was.
misses at pitches by this much.
I know.
He don't even come close.
All right.
He's
Now, granted,
6'7".
he's big as a house, and he hits balls over the
6'7".
center field scoreboard.
I think
but
we could agree that the lineup is not the thing we
It's
have to
not
worry
gonna be the
about
problem,
the most.
right.
The pitching. I think we got Tanaka at the top of rotation. Is a good ace to have. The problem is right after that, you got Pineda.
Right.
Pineda
It's a huge
who's-
drop-off.
It's like
Very
a Jekyll and Hyde. Sometimes he looks great. He strikes out 16 guys.
Right.
Sometimes he gets hit.
Right.
Severino, you don't know what you got. Wynn thinks he's going to the bullpen. I know you feel that he should stay in the starting
he
lineup.
has fantastic
and he
stuff.
gets a better chance.
He does have good
Where's
stuff.
the fall of it? Sabathia. I mean, the best thing about Sabathia is the last year of his contract.
Oh, Sabathia is absolutely garbage at this point. That's my opinion.
But if you get 12 wins, which I actually
Would
think
you
you
be
might
happy
be
with
able
12
to
wins?
get
I
12
don't
wins.
think you could get
You don't
12
think
wins
you
out of him.
How many did he
No.
have last year? I think he had more than 12.
He didn't pitch that bad last
He
year.
didn't pitch terribly.
Look,
How many wins do you have? I
they
don't know.
had
I
a
could look it
spot
up.
starter last year. Brian Mitchell wasn't that bad. Adam Warren could come in the bullpen. Or
Warren is another
can
guy.
Spot start. He can come out of the bullpen.
Their bullpen should be fantastic. If you
Anyway-
have Severino, time out, one second. You have Severino, Betances, and Chapman.
Oh, the bullpen's
7,
gonna
8,
be
9.
very good.
It's
Yes.
gonna.
It's like last year.
Granted, he's not
It'll be
Miller.
like last year, but that's
Right,
Miller's,
he's not
Miller's
Miller.
probably the
Miller's
best one out of all of
unbelievable.
them.
But you have an opportunity
To win
to
games?
do what you won last year. It's a 6-inning game.
Yeah,
It's a
but the
6-inning
problem is
game.
who's pitching those first 6. You got Tanaka, fine. But let's be realistic.
Let's
if
be
we're being
honest.
really realistic about Tanaka right now,
Yeah.
is he going to get 32 starts? No.
Why not?
Because I don't think he's ever done that in his career.
You know,
And he gets hurt almost every year. Some stint here and there, DL stint. Let's say you got to
that's a
account for
lot
at
of
least a DL
pitches,
stint.
though. It's a lot of pitches. Look at Kershaw. Kershaw was out 3 months last year.
Yeah, okay, so.
But a
Was
lot
that-
of pitches
you-
get
you
hurt.
Oh, a lot of pitchers get hurt, but he's been prone
It's-
to it.
He's
Yeah,
in a
he's-
walk year,
well,
though.
right?
He's in a walk year.
Also, Japanese pitchers. I'm not trying to be.
They pitch-
but
they
they
pitch
get
once
burnt
every
out
7
early.
days.
Oh, because they used to
Yeah.
pitch
Burnt
once
out
every
early.
7 games to 5. So look,
Right.
you got under. You got under.
I got under.
I'm going over 2. I think they're going to surprise people. I think they're going to make a run at the second wild card
Yeah,
spot.
this is not
So
just
then-
because I'm a Yankee fan.
Now we got
obviously,
2 overs and
but
under here.
I
We
think
got
they
2
go over.
overs and under here. I'm gonna break it down for. Let's try real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think the top 3 important guys on the Yankees are this year?
I think you got to say Tanaka, right?
Tanaka.
Tanaka's
I
your
agree.
first.
Tanaka's 1.
Tanaka, I mean, you need an ace. You need that guy to go out there every 5
Yeah.
days and know you're going to get a good start out of him.
He had 9 wins last year.
I agree
Steve
too.
Sabathia, by the way.
Okay.
Took me that long to figure that out.
I thought he had more than that.
He's also 36 years old.
Tanaka's
I mean,
1. Who do you got at 2?
So if you get 12, you're ecstatic. basically.
absolutely.
So basically, you're saying our number 2 starter, the Yankees' number 2 starter,
number 2 gets 12 wins is
and
almost.
you're ecstatic.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
then
if I have
maybe you're right.
Sabathia's number
Maybe
2
they go
starter,
on there,
though.
but I don't think
I
they
don't know if I
Continue
have
what you're
Sabathia
saying. Your
Sousa.
top 3. Go ahead.
I got Tanaka 1 as well.
Tanaka. Who'd your 1 be? Would you say Tanaka?
Well, do your top 3 and I'll do my top 3. My number 1, I don't know.
I mean, Sanchez.
God, Sanchez. Sanchez number 2. It's a no-brainer.
But
If you don't get the production out of him, you're relying this guy. He's
That's
your
how
number
bad
3.
it
Is your
is,
number
though.
4 hitter?
I mean-
how bad it is.
Not
The
how
guy
bad
had
it is.
a
I'm
historic
saying-
season last
I'm saying
year.
you're relying on a guy who's basically a rookie. Basically a rookie. Hasn't played
But
a
it's
full
not
season
like
yet.
he came
and
out
he's
of
your
nowhere.
number 2 most important player. That's
Of
very,
course
very
he is.
risky.
time out. Last year at this time, we were talking about A-Rod, right? A-Rod the year before had
The
almost
guy
40
had
homers.
the greatest half season of all time for a
No.
catcher. How can we not?
No,
how
no,
can you
no,
say
but I'm
it's
saying
bad that
it's a
he's your
half
number
season.
2?
You're talking about
Small sample
you're talking about
size. Comes
relying
with
on people.
expectations.
Going into last year, you're relying on A-Rod, right? To
Were
hit-
we?
Yeah, because the year before he had a big year. He came back. He 35 homers.
he did do it very
All
well.
right, so you were relying on him last year. Now you have. Are the Yankees not better this year than they were last year? Plain and simple.
I think they're roughly the same, if not a little bit worse.
You think they're worse?
That's why I think
I
they're
think
going
they're
under.
better. I think they're better. I think
they're
they're
better.
better. Let's round it out with the top 3. Your 3. Your third.
Oh,
You said Tanaka, Sanchez, and who's third?
Tanaka, Sanchez.
Can't even think of a 3. That's how bad this team is.
No, you can, but it's gonna
No, I'm kidding.
it's gonna come down to Sabathia.
Sabathia. What
You
about
think
you?
Sabathia is number 3?
He's important. If he's supposed to be if you're relying on Sabathia to take the ball every fifth day,
I disagree with you. I got Chapman as number 3.
but you know what you're gonna get from
Yeah,
Chapman.
but you know, but if Chapman has a good year, you're good.
Oh, you mean you're saying who's the most
Who's the most
impactful?
You know what
Who's
you
going
get
to be
from Chapman.
important to them winning games is a different story. Of course, CC Sabathia, if he gets 12 wins, that's going to really help them win games.
I think Chapman's.
But who's the
extremely
3 most
to that
important
team.
players on the team? You'd say Sabathia is one of the 3 most important players on the
If
team?
they want to make the playoffs and go far, yes, they need something out of him because after
the
Tanaka,
rotation's not good.
All right, I take it back. Sabathia / Pineda.
Okay.
Make it 3A and
I'd
3B.
agree more with Pineda.
Because you need a solid number
Pineda's
2
got the
behind
potential to be
Tanaka.
more of a number
Right,
2.
right.
Am
I
I
think
wrong?
Pineda's
Yes,
got to
you
be. Pineda's got to be
definitely
your
have to
number
have-
2.
You definitely have to have a solid number 2 starter. Otherwise, you're not making
Who's
the
your
playoffs.
number 1?
My number 1's also Tanaka.
Number 2.
Because you need to have an ace. You have to. At least a decent ace,
I
which
agree.
he's very good when he plays.
You need an ace, but you need because of the fact that
And he's also a good ace.
the rest of their
Really good.
rotation is so suspect.
Right.
It's
right.
I
so
agree.
you
So
need-
he's your
why
one
he's
reliable
number 1.
stone.
He's number
your
1,
base
hands
in the
down.
rotation, right?
He's number 1,
Yeah.
hands down. So
Okay.
who's your number 2?
My number 2, you know, I want to say Sanchez. I'm not gonna say Sanchez though.
How you don't say Sanchez beyond me?
Because I'm gonna explain why. Because the lineup, I think, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different people that could really help the lineup and help them win games. I think Chapman is more valuable and Chapman's my number 2 because Chapman is your closer, is the guy that's going to close a lot of games out. Where there are going to be a lot of close Yankee games because we're going to give up a lot of runs at
agree.
times.
I agree.
We're
He's
going to
gotta
score
close the
some
door in
runs
those
at
games.
times. There's going to be a lot of close games, and we're going to need Chapman to close the door.
He's gotta
And I
close
think
the
that's
door
going
in
to be
those
more
games.
valuable than one individual person in the lineup. I think the lineup as a whole isn't that bad. But individuals within this lineup, I mean, Sanchez is by far the best guy.
So you got Chapman 2,
Offensively,
Sanchez 3.
especially, and defensively. He's unbelievable.
So
catcher.
you'll flip flop.
guns people out.
He's got a bazooka.
Bazooka.
Hey, dude, he's not be
He's got a
catching long.
speed.
They're gonna eventually take him out of catching.
But no, I know this is off topic, but I have to. When the Twins took Mauer out from behind the plate,
You're right. He
right?
went straight down.
There's something to be said about a guy hitting 330, 340 catching.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
not a hitting position. You want to talk defense first, but when you take that guy out who hits 330 and it's 15 homers catching, that's unbelievable production. But when you
right.
take a guy and now you put him at first and he hits 300,
He becomes part of the pack.
he becomes an average first baseman.
Or
Granted,
above
300 is
average,
good.
or even just above average.
Slightly
Yeah.
above average, but he hasn't hit 300 in a while. So if you start doing that with him, let him catch. He's great defensively.
Well,
let him
he's
catch.
young
and let him hit.
also.
Yeah.
Mauer got older.
It makes
Mauer
no
got
sense.
worn
I thought they
down.
pulled Mauer pretty quickly, but
He was getting worn down.
They're still
I think.
paying him.
all right.
But anyway, so those are the 3 I'd say. Sanchez 3, and I mean, there's no one else really close. I think.
I agree. My 3 are going to be the same as Wins, Tanaka, Sanchez, and Chapman. And I hate to switch gears to the B team, but let's go to the Mets. We got to talk about
B
the
team.
we got to talk about the
we're all Yankee
we
fans
got to
here,
talk
right?
about the crosstown
We're all
rivals
Yankee
here.
We're all Yankee
Obviously.
fans. And
So
I'm still being
as much as it
semi-Yankee.
hurts me to say, the Mets
Let's go, Mets.
are going to looking to have the better year this year, but we'll make our predictions.
Let's do the Mets.
The
baby.
Mets over-under right now is looking at 89.5. So
It's very
A little
high.
bit higher expectations in Queens than in the Bronx. So let's kick it to the analysts to start this one off first. What do you think about the Mets this year? 89.5.
That total. What would they do last year? I don't remember.
They didn't make the playoffs last year. Oh, they
No,
made,
they
they
did
made the
the
wild
wild
card
card
game.
game.
They made the wild card game.
I think last
I
year.
forget their exact record.
They're probably about 87, I think. 86, 87 wins.
Yeah.
They definitely underperformed
You know,
last
Chris
year.
is going to be.
Oh, here we
fine
go.
anytime
They,
soon.
they definitely
I got it right here.
underperformed.
They had 87 wins.
87
So
wins.
yeah, they
So
underperformed.
3 games more than the Yankees, who were rebuilding. But continue.
Well, think
Daniel
about
Murphy.
But think about what happened. Okay.
They kept Daniel Murphy. They would have won the NL
Think about
East.
this though. The Yankees didn't really gain much in the rotation from last year, except that hopefully
All right.
Tanaka's full health.
You went back to the
and
Yankees, my man.
what? No, but think about this. Think about
Guy
this.
talks about a B
The
team. He's
Mets,
talking about him already.
the Mets lost almost their whole rotation last year, and they still had 87 wins.
I know.
They lost
Collins
for
did a
good
great
portions
job.
of the year.
Collins did a great job.
I like Collins.
The
a lot of
Mets-
people don't.
The
Mets
Mets
fans don't.
last year's starting rotation was classic Mets. I thought Syndergaard was going to have a stroke or something on the mound. That guy's just going down left and right.
I know.
But so
You have
what
to
do you
carry the load.
So you got him going low.
No.
I'm sorry,
think,
under, I'm sorry.
I think if the rotation stays healthy, if Syndergaard, Harvey, DeGrom, Matz. Those four. If those four
I mean,
can
that's-
give you 28 to 30 starts, each of them.
It's asking a lot.
It is asking a lot.
Every guy's got.
Tanaka. You just said Tanaka
But I'm
can't
not.
do
I'm not
32.
even saying a full season of starts.
Harvey's
30,
neck's
I'm not even
popping
asking for
out.
32 each. I'm asking for 28 to 30 each. Okay.
Okay.
If they can.
On an average. So you're
Well, that's what you want your rotation to do, right?
No.
So if they stay healthy, even if one of them gets hurt,
You're assuming one's going to get hurt.
and Wheeler at least has an impact.
Okay.
I think that
Guy
they-
hasn't pitched
I
in
think they could
5 years.
I think they
Zach
get 90
Wheeler.
wins.
So you're going over.
I'm going over.
How about you?
Man. Let me start off by saying, I am not. I'm going to look into the camera and say this. I am not one of those Yankee fans who just roots
Bashes
against the
the
Mets, bashes the Mets. I'm not. I am not Met fans. I think the Met fans would bother me more than the actual team. As a
Yeah.
kid, I loved the Mets. I rooted for them. Don't get me wrong. They played the Yankees.
Absolutely.
There's no question about it. You root for the Yankees, but I don't think the Mets are going to break 89 wins. I don't.
That is a high total.
It's a high total.
It's a
89 and a
high
half,
total
They
in
made the playoffs with 87 last year.
what should
Right.
be
But they're
the
a good team.
Nationals division again. Granted, you want to talk the Mets have a great rotation.
You
They
think
do.
so?
The Mets do have a very good rotation. You have, we all know who they have: Syndergaard, DeGrom, Harvey, Matt, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
But with their injury history,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate to say it to all you Met fans, they're the Mets.
They have a bad
They have a bad history.
bad like
can you
medical program
if I
or something.
called up,
Like
if
the
I
guys
call-
get hurt all the
Like
time.
the
on,
Giants,
hold on.
like the Giants. of
if I
baseball.
called up
Giants
a
get
Met
hurt every
fan
time.
right now,
Yeah.
right? Let's talk to our producer. What do you think? Over 89 wins?
Hell yes.
Hell yes, but he's the confused Met fan.
Yeah, he's a Met fan. I'm not even a Met
Look,
fan.
I'm
a
not.
Yankee fan.
Look, I'm
still
not a
saying.
Met
I'm
fan.
going under.
I'm
Under
not
89.
a Met fan. It's going to be a 2-1, obviously again, but it's going to be 2-1 over again. I'm going over. I think the Mets are going. I think the Mets are going to have a good year. They're going to have a good bounce back year. Look, I got a big year coming out of Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
I think after the surgery, they took the first rib out. Look, he couldn't grip the ball last year. His nerves were being impinged. His blood vessels were being impinged. He couldn't grip the ball. I think if the
Says the
surgery went
physical
over well,
therapist.
the surgery went
Physical
well.
therapist.
The surgery went well. He's going to be. I think Harvey's a big game pitcher. I want that guy on the mound. I would want that guy on the mound all the time.
I like Harvey.
what do you
I
do?
do.
I think they're going over. I think
I-
Syndergaard's great. I think the worst thing he could do is put on 15 pounds of muscle.
That hurts your
'Cause
fantasy team.
he wants to. Yeah, I got him on fantasy. Don't get hurt. But he what does he want to throw the ball through the catcher? I don't understand. He throws 100 miles
He
an
looked
hour
good today.
in the 8th inning already. Now he wants to get. But
Phil, Dr. Phil, what was that again? What did you say? Can you let me look at the camera and tell me what your prediction was?
I think they got.
Can you say it one more time, please?
I think they're gonna go over 89 wins. I
89
think
wins.
Syndergaard's gonna have a good year. I've always liked the Grom.
Under 89.
Matt, like 2 years ago, I thought it was something of a joke. Every guy they called up was great. I never heard of these guys. So Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard,
Even the spot starter.
Logan Verrett.
Yeah.
Logan Verrett comes up. He's throwing good games. Matt
Logan.
comes up. He's having good games. It
But
was
here's the
like
problem
it was
with
like
the
this
Mets.
assembly line of good
Yeah.
pitchers.
Pitching just
I
kept
think they're
coming.
going to come back. I think Harvey's going to come back have a good year. And if Harvey's good, it takes pressure off the other guys.
Right.
Harvey wants the big spotlight. Harvey wants
He's a
this-
3 right now, right? So you
Harvey's-
want him to be a solid 3.
If
Yeah.
he's better than a 3.
No, but right now in the rotation,
Harvey's
he's a
your
3.
3.
Yeah.
I pose
If
you.
Harvey has a good year,
Right.
he's going to win. Look, the worst thing Terry Collins could do with Conforto, I remember last year he was having a great year, Conforto. Couldn't hit lefties. The first lefty he put him against, you guys remember? Madison Bumgarner. Went 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts. I don't think Conforto had another hit for 2 months. Okay?
Oh, my
And
God.
he's going to
That
come
was
back.
good.
He's got a good swing. He's a good player.
Yeah.
Cespedes.
They got good bench players, actually.
Cespedes is a dog. Cespedes is a dog.
But he's a great player.
He's a dog. He's
He
lucky.
is a dog.
If he plays 100 games, it's a lot this year. You heard it here first. He got his money, right? He got his
100
money?
games?
He's a
I'll
dog.
take that bet. Over under
He's
100.
a dog. Over under 100.
I'll take over.
Under
I
100.
think.
All
All right.
right.
So,
Shake to it, $0.
so we both got over. We're under.
I'm
Obviously-
I'm a strong under
obviously-
only for the simple fact that I don't think their pitching's going to stay healthy. I don't think their
I
pitching's
mean,
going
yeah,
to
it's
stay
hard
healthy.
to project
And
it.
It's hard
All
to
of them
project. It's
are.
hard to project that.
But
I
one,
think they
even if
got
one
enough.
gets hurt, 3 guys
Look,
stay,
dude,
you know.
Let me pose you this question.
Four.
Let me pose
Look,
you this
no.
question.
Their 5 starters. Their rotation is Syndergaard, Wheeler, and no order. Syndergaard, Wheeler, Harvey, DeGrom, and Matt. Last year,
Sounds
four-
unbelievable.
That's the best in baseball.
Last year,
Sounds unbelievable.
last
ones.
year,
All 5
4
ones.
of them were hurt.
And they-
4.
and they still
80% of
won
you
80.
guys were hurt, and they won 87 games.
4 to 5.
Say 2 of them get hurt. It was just 50% less. Which is
Which is
still, a
still
good amount.
bad. Yeah,
Which
it's
is
a
still
lot,
bad.
yeah.
Their whole
They got
team was
3
hurt.
good.
Their whole team was
Right.
hurt.
Look,
You make a good
I
argument.
love the Yankees.
Now here's the problem with the Mets.
I think the Mets
though.
have the better team.
The problem
right
is if let's say you said you're right, 2 guys get hurt, right? But let's say out of the 3 that are left, what if 2 of them don't pitch that well? Then they're in serious trouble because
That I
their
don't think's gonna
lineup,
happen,
their
though.
lineup is very one-dimensional. They're all guys that hit for low average,
Yeah.
for power, don't have much speed except
Yeah.
Reyes, and
First of all-
they're one-dimensional, low-average hitters that don't do much else.
But let's be
Jay
honest.
They're home run guys.
Jay Bruce is the guy they traded for last year at the deadline.
Good, it was good, but it's the same guy they
Oh, no,
have.
no, I
already.
understand that.
Yeah.
He's another guy
not
that they
horrible.
should
He
ship
was.
Oh, he was
to
horrible.
Minnesota, get him out of New York because he can't play it. When you have in your contract that you can't,
didn't wanna come here.
Time out. When you have in your contract you can't be traded to the Yankees and Red Sox.
I didn't know that.
How is that possible? You're a professional baseball player and you don't want to play for the Yankees and Red
we
Sox.
can get the most-
Then you
It's
got
called
problems.
I'm scared. I can't play in a big
He can't
market.
handle the pressure?
He's a wimp. Get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out.
Yeah, but I heard
Sorry,
he got
Met
hot the
fans.
last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, couple of weeks. We're on for
Look,
2.5 months.
But look,
Well,
when
he's
it
a
comes
streaky hitter as
well,
it
the
is.
lineup,
I
the
hear
lineup
you.
it is.
I
First
hear
of
you.
all, to
But
go,
it's not Cincinnati. It's not a
to
launching
go-
pad. City.
No, it's
You were
not.
saying they still got to be
not.
good. If the Mets pitchers are healthy, I think they're going to be good. I don't think that's
Right,
the
it's
question.
about the pitching.
And the
Yeah,
lineup.
yeah.
I think the lineup.
But the
Honestly,
thing is,
the
a good
lineup's not
lineup-
that
But
important.
here's the thing: a good lineup.
It's important. Don't get me wrong.
You're
But
assuming
but a
every pitcher's
solid
going to pitch
lineup-
well. You're assuming every pitcher
Yeah,
is going to come
exactly.
back to their 2000 to their Harvey in 2013 before a surgery.
Phil,
I have a good assumption about it.
That's you're assuming a lot. You're assuming Syndergaard, who put on 15 pounds of muscle, who's in
Well,
Game of
he's
Thrones.
the one that should definitely
He's
pitch
in
well.
Game of Thrones. You hear that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Season 7. He's in Game of Thrones.
Is he going to be one of the Giants? He's
No,
going to be a
he's
wildling.
killed
No,
right
he's
away.
got to be a wildling.
He's
I don't know
gonna
what
get
he
killed
is,
right
but
away.
he's in it. He's in
A
it.
wild-
He's
He's got to be a wildling, right? Look at him.
I don't know. He might be a giant. Who knows?
That's
But
actually
He's got to be Giant Spain's brother. Am I allowed to say that? Giant Spain? Is that
Giant Spain.
Who's that?
Tormund Giant Spain. Isn't that
Oh,
his
is that his name? I don't know his
Come on,
name.
man. You couldn't just say
Now you're
Tormund.
getting really off the board.
name?
Tormund's blonde brother.
Exactly. Tormund's Braun brother.
Anyway,
He's a good actor, by the
back
way.
to
He-
top.
He's on Hotels.com. I
He is.
love
He's
those
actually pretty
commercials.
funny.
The big beard. I don't think he could shave it. Contractually obligated.
Get
to
out of here. Is that
maintain-
true?
Yeah. Jon Snow couldn't cut his hair for the longest time.
You know, I have a friend of mine who
Contractually
tries to be
obligated.
Jon Snow, but he kind of
You
finally
know,
cut his
it
hair.
just it
He's
never, it
cut-
never makes
his
it
name-
there.
yeah,
It never
he never-
makes
he
it
never
there.
gets to
He
it.
tries real
His
hard.
name's the producer.
He thinks he really looks like him, but
He says, "Oh, girls call me Jon Snow." That's
no,
why
he
I
said
do
mostly
it.
guys do. That's the problem.
Mostly guys. That's right.
That's why he cut his hair.
Poor guy. Get
Now
out of
listen,
guys.
back to the Mets. The Mets. If you're relying too much on the fucking on the
I know.
rotation,
Look.
on the
I know you're
rotation
saying- look,
as an anchor. Listen,
to go back
Wait,
one
let me finish
second.
my
No,
thought.
no.
Let me finish my
Lineup is obviously important. I did
Right.
jump the gun.
But what I'm saying-
pitching's obviously more important.
But what I'm saying, like right now, I like the Yankees lineup as a whole, as
I
1
agree.
through
Oh,
8,
yeah.
better than the Mets lineup 1 through 8. Just because they're not all the same type of 240, 230 hitter.
I agree, but
Time
how
out.
much
Can I-
better do you like the Mets pitching than the Yankees?
Can I
pitching?
ask
A
you?
lot better.
Exactly.
Exactly. But you
Exactly.
can't
A
let
lot
them be
better.
the anchor because their bullpen also has problems too. Familia, who had the most saves in the
Is he
league,
gonna
this
get
year, best
suspended?
closer in the
I'm
league.
sorry, is he
he
gonna
might
get
get
suspended?
suspended. Exactly. That's a big problem.
Juicing?
The bullpen's
No,
important
he had
too.
the domestic
Oh, the
disturbance
domestic one,
thing.
that's
The
right.
bullpen's
That was
very
thrown out. I
important.
don't know what's going on with that.
Let me.
I think he's going to get suspended.
Why didn't
Chapman got suspended.
Why didn't the Mets?
I know, but that's huge for them. Very
Great.
big.
That's
why?
big. I know.
Why didn't the Mets sign Chris Carter?
I don't know, but it's under
The
the
Yan-
radar.
the
Great
Yankees-
Yankee
I mean-
sign. Guy hit 42 home runs last year.
Oh, you
They
love
sign
this
him?
Chris Carter signing.
He's a platoon for 1 year deal. Hit 42 home runs last year.
I don't understand. The
What's
Mets-
the downfall of that signing?
The Mets have Duda.
I don't know. What was the deal?
1 year, $2 million.
1 year, $2 million? Yeah, I guess that's a
can
great
you-
deal. You can't really get better than
Who
that.
gets paid $2
for a guy
million?
with 42 homers? I know. But
Granted, he may strike out a ton of
he
times.
also
we all
doesn't
know that.
walk whatsoever. He walks 30 times a
That's why it's
year.
called
He's
a
so
platoon.
one-dimensional.
That's why it's
I
called
understand it, but
a
I'll tell you
platoon.
what.
He's a 3-outcome guy.
That's okay. That's okay.
Actually, he's not even. He's a 2-outcome guy. It's a home run
If
or a
you pay-
strikeout, not even a walk.
If you're paying
The
him,
walk is a lot less.
If you're paying him $2 million a year and he hits 25 homers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't take that if you were any team.
If he had 24 and he's platooning like he's not playing much, yeah, of course.
I mean, listen, 25 homers is still a lot this day and age. 10 years ago, 25 homers, every second baseman had 25
Yeah.
homers. But now you 25 homers, it's a lot.
25
It's like it
homers.
was back in the 70s.
You in a slump, 25
you know?
home runs.
I know.
I know.
Brett Boone.
35 homers is like, what, you're one of the league leaders.
Yeah.
You know?
35 home
35,
runs.
yeah,
You'd
30.
sneeze out there. Brady Anderson, 51 home
But that's what I'm
runs.
saying. You look at like 2000.
He wasn't juicing.
If you look at the 2000 or 2001
Luis Gonzalez.
MVP Like Manny Ramirez was in 9th, I think, one year when Pudge won the MVP. He had like
Juan
150
Gonzalez.
RBIs.
Remember Juan Gonzalez?
like
And like
97 at the
38
break.
I remember when he had 100, 101 at the break, like it was nothing. Juan Gonzalez
I like
batting
this era
4th,
better.
Manny Ramirez batting 5th.
I like the way it is baseball
it's
now.
real
better.
baseball.
This is
It's-
real
it's-
baseball.
it's-
This is what the true fan wants.
Well, put it this way: everybody's more or less on a level playing field, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you like to think that the steroids are out of the game, et cetera,
Mm-hmm.
but
It looks like it.
I mean, the numbers are
Seems like
definitely down.
Yeah.
So you got to think, all right. But in the same token, what about all those guys who juiced during the steroid era?
And
Do
they're
we
still
just-
around, you mean?
No. Do we
Oh.
just forget about them? Barry Bonds, you're not going to put in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens, you're not going to put in the Hall of Fame. These guys
is
were
a whole new
unbelievable.
topic,
I
yeah.
know, but I'm just saying these guys were unbelievable.
Barry Bonds should
before-
be just because. you know,
before juicing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
mean-
Barry Bonds just did things that you're going to recognize him. Even if you put 12 asterisks next to his name, it's Barry Bonds. You know, he has the most home.
He was like a video game.
Yeah.
He
you
was a
can't-
video game.
You can't deny Barry
One
Bonds.
thing, Barry Bonds would have one pitch to hit the entire game, and he hit 50 home runs, walked 200 bazillion times, and hit 370. So,
No, he
but
deserves
that
it.
I believe is a discussion that
For
we
another
will
time,
pick up another
yeah. time.
But so there's our predictions,
Mets.
folks. We got the Mets
Wait, top
having
three.
having a slightly better year than the Yankees is, and the Mets don't deserve top 3 players.
Come on.
Top three
They have a
players.
better top three
three
than
players
the
for the Mets.
Syndergaard,
Syndergaard,
Harvey,
and
DeGrom, in any
There
order you
go.
want to put them.
I don't
Whatever
know,
you
I don't know
want.
if I agree with that.
Yeah, of course you don't.
Who do you
agree
got,
with that.
analyst? Who do you got? Who do you got?
I would say this year,
Oh,
for
boy.
this year only.
He's going to bring up his prospect. He's going to bring up your boy?
No. For this year. Well, I mean, first of all, Syndergaard 100%.
Don't ever supersede the
And
host again.
DeGrom,
all right?
definitely.
That's the last thing you
But
ever
I'm
do.
going to give it a split between Yoenis Cespedes and Jose Reyes. This year, Jose Reyes, if he could play...
Guy's 65 years
But
old.
no, he's not.
He hits his
He's
wife.
actually
Get
like
out of
34.
here.
So let me ask you, who would you be more upset if they went down for the rest of the year? The first game of the season, if you're a Met fan, both Jose Reyes gets hurt and Matt Harvey gets hurt. What are you more upset about, Harvey or Reyes?
Oh, Harvey, obviously.
So then how
That's
can
'cause
Reyes
he's
be
the
more
starting
important than
pitcher.
Harvey?
But every starting...
So how can Reyes be more important than Harvey?
Let me explain to you. I'm saying how he's going to be important for the team this year.
Yes, I'm just saying.
Because let's say Harvey goes down, right? You can still make up for it with Mats, and if Wheeler pitches
So
well.
you'd be more
whereas
upset if Reyes got hurt.
If Reyes gets hurt,
So you'd be more upset if Reyes
your
got
lineup
hurt.
gets flipped upside down. He's the only guy that can lead off in this lineup right now.
So you're more upset if
He's the
Reyes.
mo- he's the only
You're
one
more upset if
speed in the
Reyes
lineup.
gets
He's
hurt.
the only
Does
guy
he
with
still
speed in the
have
lineup.
No, go back.
Yes, he has a little speed. He's 34
So go
years
back.
old. He's only 34.
So you're more
I
upset if
understand
Reyes
that.
gets hurt than if Harvey gets hurt.
I mean, I love Reyes. I love Blair.
So who are you more upset if they get hurt opening game?
He's another
Harvey
If I was
or
a Met
Reyes?
fan?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's another dog, Reyes.
it would suck if Reyes got hurt too. Who plays third base?
Well,
David
who would be
Wright's
more
hurt?
important?
I don't know.
David
I would say Harvey just because he's in the rotation.
So then, how could Reyes be more important
I
than
think
Harvey?
Reyes-
You're
I
more
think-
upset if Harvey gets hurt.
Because I think Reyes is going to be a more impactful player on the offense.
Wait a minute.
than
Wait a minute.
all
And
the
Harvey
other-
is the pitcher?
No.
You're saying, all right, so
What I'm
what
saying
you...
is the
talking
rotation's so
circles
stacked
right now.
The rotation's so stacked that a Harvey getting hurt and missing some
So
time.
you'd be more upset if Reyes got hurt.
I guess so.
Dang. Okay, that's all.
But we're
Stick
not-
by
you
it.
know
The
what I'm
other guy
saying?
you're saying.
You know what I'm
then.
saying?
Is that
Harvey's-
because you
how-
love him?
Harvey's
Is that
act-
because you love him?
No, listen.
Is that because he's your boy?
No. I'm saying because Harvey
He lost his
is
job
a-
to
is
my
a
boy,
rotation
Trevor
pitcher.
Story.
If you're a 1-2-3 starter, you're obviously more important than a hitter. Think about it.
So then he's more important.
All right,
than
So
No,
you
no,
can
time
say
out,
that
time
about
out,
everybody.
time out.
You know,
But he's
every
saying that in
1-2-3 starter.
general.
In general, a 3 starter is more valuable than a hitter.
Not necessarily.
Not always, but in most cases,
Would your
starter's
time out,
important.
time out. Would your number 3, let's take Harvey, he's your 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is he more valuable than Cespedes?
Harvey?
Yeah.
That's why I said Cespedes, Reyes.
Cespedes.
better
I'm going to put them all on the same level.
Right, but
Reyes,
Cespedes,
Cespedes, and
if you ask me, Cespedes is much
and
more
Syndergaard?
important than Harvey.
And Harvey. Harvey, Reyes, Cespedes, all on the same level. Why Reyes, though? I know Reyes isn't a great player anymore, but if he could play 135, 140 games, he's going to make a huge impact in that lineup, I think. That's my personal opinion. Because they have nobody like him. Nobody with speed, and nobody hits for average. He hits for average, Jose. Nobody else on the team does.
He's average in Colorado.
He could be the table
he hasn't been
setter.
good in a
He's a
while.
spot
He's going to
plug.
hit 275 this year.
No, he's been a very good hitter throughout his whole career, pretty much. I mean, you know that. He's been a very good hitter his whole
It's been a
career.
couple years. Can we
he's
say
hurt.
that?
He gets hurt.
All right, he gets hurt. So that's
So,
part of the
that's the problem,
part
yeah.
of the conversation.
I'm saying if he stays healthy and plays 135 games, I think he becomes as valuable as Harvey is.
I don't think there's a shot. He
for
plays
the Mets.
135
Just
games.
the only reason why is because the Mets rotation is so stacked. Harvey isn't as huge as if Harvey was on the Yankees. If Harvey's on the Yankees, yes,
Which
he's
he will
extremely
be,
valuable.
which he will be in a couple of years. Just letting you know, Harvey.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Harper.
Bring them all.
The Yankees
Bring
will be
them
sacked
all.
in a
I
couple
want
of years.
Machado.
Nah, I actually don't want
I
that.
want Machado. That's what I want.
Machado's
Put him right at third. You could send Headley wherever you want. San Diego. Send him back to San Diego. For God's sakes.
All right, everyone. I think that was a good recap. Unfortunately, we think the Mets are
Who's
going to
the
have
better
a
team,
little
Mets
better
and
record.
Yankees?
We just said you got Mets over Yankees
Oh, I think
under.
Mets
Who do
are
you
the-
think is the better
oh,
team?
I obviously
You
think
got
Mets
Mets.
are under.
Unfortunately, it hurts me to say, Mets are probably going to finish with a better record. But don't be surprised if the Yankees. Don't be surprised if the Yankees beat them. But I'll put my money on the Mets if I had to put
Do
my
any of you
money
guys
somewhere.
think that the Yankees have a legitimate shot to win the division?
It's a tough
Yeah, at
division.
least.
It's a tough division. As a Yankee fan,
That's what I'm
do they
saying.
have a shot? I'd like to think they have a shot. I mean, it's going to be tough.
I'd say they got a long shot.
It's going to be tough. I mean, listen, they're projected for 83 wins for a reason. I'd like to think they win over that. They'll probably win 87, 88. Do they get one of the wild cards? I hope they win.
Look,
87,
Red Sox
88.
just traded for Chris Sale. That team's stacked.
Yeah.
Blue Jays are always good. Orioles play good against
Those teams rip. Blue Jays, Orioles rip.
Orioles play good
Yeah.
under Buck Showalter.
Tampa Bay's
Yankees
pretty
are-
garbage, but they got good pitching.
Yankees are looking at a wild card if they could get in.
Right.
I think they
I
can make a
agree.
run at that second wild
They
card.
could make a run at the wild card.
I think
agree.
the Mets should take
It
the
gives them a
division.
shot.
I think the Mets should take the division. I think
I
Nationals
agree.
Nationals take a little bit of a step back.
That's a good argument for next time. Mets, Nationals, who's the better
there
team?
we go.
That's a good
All right.
lineup comparison.
Well, that leads to next time. We'll talk about Baseball Hall of Fame. We'll talk
about
about
all types
Baseball
of
Hall of
stuff.
Fame. Talk about baseball. We'll have a full
a
baseball
long
preview.
season.
We'll have a more of a baseball preview next week or in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And well, thank you for having us in your living room today, folks. Again, for Alan Colombano and the analyst Chris Ventura, I'm Philip Cagliostro, saying good night.
You guys are crazy. Yankees are going to have over 83.5 wins.
You don't think they are?
I'm just trying to add to the end of the show.
I said good night, man.
I think
Look,
it's like a
Yeah,
little
but you know how they
don't
talk at the
supersede
end?
the host, all right?
Yeah, stop
all right.
calling the host off,
When the
man.
host is wrapping it up,
supersede you.
man.
What'd I
When
do?
the host is wrapping it up.
No, I let you wrap it up.
Nah, you didn't. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the thing," and you're like, "Wait, top three. He can't step on his toes."
Oh, I didn't mean to do
I
that.
tried to wrap it up again.
I wanted to get the top three in.
Then I tried to wrap it up again. You're like, wait.
Guy's
who's-
trying to do a
you're like-
job.
Then I tried to wrap it up. You're like,
That's
wait.
why we got to work on it. I'm
trying,
sorry.
Trying to wrap it up.